Okay, Qantas just smashed an aviation record with the longest passenger flight ever made by a commercial airline. Now, the journey from London to Sydney nonstop clocked an incredible 19 hours, 19 minutes, and included a look at a rare double sunrise. Of course, Richard was on board this flight, which Qantas used to test its Project Sunrise initiative. Look at him. Doesn't he look happy? I've never seen him so happy. He spoke to CEO Alan Joyce before taking off about what the airline is hoping to accomplish.
These are test flights to show the regulator and to make sure that Qantas is convinced that we can do them safely by extending the tour of duty of pilots and making sure we design a system for our passengers so they can feel healthy after coming off ultra long haul flights.
But there are already flights up in the 18 and a half hours. They don't seem to have needed this sort of research. You're only an hour or so more.
So a couple of things. You need a tour of duty, particularly from Sydney to London, that goes to over 21 hours. That cannot be legally done today. So we need to show the regulator that that is doable. In addition to that, we want to use these flights to help inform us what we do on Sydney-Dallas, Perth-London today. And you can't do the type of studying that we're doing on regular flights. The pilot's going to be wearing headgear, they're going to be testing urine, and you can't do that on regular flights that you can do on these delivery flights.
If you get Sunrise up and running, and you've not yet committed to it, have you?
No.
Because, you know, I mean, you've got a choice of two aircraft.
Yep.
The 350 and the 777X, but the 777X won't be ready.
So the 777X won't be ready in 2023, but Boeing have put a very compelling option on the table for us. So it is a competition between both. They are actually very keen to get this. The head of Airbus told me it's a bit like the space race. And they're very keen to win it, and one of them is going to win it. And I think we're seeing very, very competitive offers being bought by both manufacturers.
But you've said if it's not commercially viable, you won't do it. That obviously makes, from the shareholder sense, but the definition of commercially viable is a movable feast.
Well, it isn't. We're very clear on it. We have a return on invested capital threshold that we have for business cases. It's a hurdle rate that we have out there. One of the things that airlines have not been very good at in the past is actually the allocation of capital and making returns. The reason why Qantas is one of the best performing airline groups in the world is because we're very disciplined with allocation of capital, and this has got to be no different. We're going to have to make sure the business case works. And if it does work, we'll spend the money on it. If it doesn't work, there's plenty of other opportunities out there for us.
You're going carbon neutral by 2050. And aviation, airlines, you are the whipping boy now in the environmental debate.
Yeah.
Do you think that's unfair?
Well, you know, I think you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know the positives aviation has generated for the world. It gets people to understand different communities, different cultures. It gets people to visit family and friends. It promotes business. It promotes economic activity. And we are conscious that a large part of our communities now are uncomfortable with travelling. We need to fix that. And what airlines have to do, like we have, is commit that we will get to net carbon neutral by 2050, that we give people the ability to offset their carbon emissions, that we do develop sustainable aviation fuel, which is what we're doing, because you cannot throw the baby out with the bathwater here.
Carbon neutral by 2050. Can you not do it sooner?
So no, I think to get there, you're going to need to develop a sustainable aviation fuel, and to get that to be an economic alternative is going to take a number of years, I think, to get there. And it's going to need new technology. We're replacing all the 747s by the end of next year, but the new technology and new aircraft is going to be key and also helping get there.
What are you going to do on tomorrow's flight? I mean, yeah, you'll sleep, and yes, you'll eat, and you'll probably watch a movie. Will you open your briefcase?
I will. I'll do a bit of work because we've got a couple of big projects that we're having to sort out by the end of the year. And it's not a briefcase now, it's all on iPads. So we carry less paper, which reduces my carbon emissions on the aircraft as well, Richard.